Yo, yo, yo! Around the EcomiVerse, episode 53. We got Crypto Rain, Doctor Stuff, and we're here for a good show today, guys. Woo! Let's go, let's go. So I think, do you want to start off with talking about the VeVe drops? That's probably one of the most exciting things that's been happening.
Yeah, Dr. Stuff has some thoughts on that as we were just talking a little bit before we launched on what's going on with that. Some good insights.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we can start off kind of the weekend. VeVe had a pretty successful weekend, right, on their drops. They had the platinum moments. I had a buddy of mine hit me up right before, like he he was like, he called me actually and was like, "Hey, I hit the platinum moments drop. Like, what should I go for it?" And I was like, "You can. I mean, it's priced kind of high, but they're lower edition sizes." And I'm like, look, if you get Elsa's going to be successful. Like, even though it's like the third version of Elsa, she's just so insanely popular. And the Platinum Moment looks awesome. On top of that, you're going to be able to craft a poster of Elsa, which will be really rare because you have to get the Elsa on the drop. Then you also have to get the potion on, and to be able to do that. So some people aren't going to be able to do it. And yeah, like it all sold out. And, I think Stitch and Tinkerbell are the last time I looked trading just above retail. But when you take in the hit, you lose a little bit of money from if you bought it on the drop. But Elsa, just kind of like I said, Elsa's doing good. But props to VeVe. They did great on that one. Did you guys go for that drop at all?
No.
I haven't gone for any drops.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the platinum moments and the looks, but right now I'm just like, man, crypto is calling my name. So I'm looking at a lot more crypto projects. But and then they had the London Police, and I'm bummed. I tried for that one. I did not get it, and those have all done very well. I mean, I think that I was looking at the market. Let me pull that up here, but like,
But that's 3 drops in a row, right? 3 drops in a row sold out.
Yeah, awesome. Yep, sold out, and they were lower edition sizes, at least with the platinum moments and then the London Police. But the London Police, man, those things have done really well. I think
I heard all the floors are rising too in VeVe, right? Like everyone's accounts are going back up again. I think we're past the bottom and now we're going back up on the rise, guys.
We are on the rise a little bit, I mean, I am looking at vault values, and that is kind of trickling up. But so like the secret rare right now, the floor on the secret rare of the London Police, $269, and it was a $40 retail. But yeah, they were insanely popular, and not only that, but like even people went to Decon. And they were talking to some of the other artists at Decon, and the other artists that were familiar with VeVe are like, "Oh, we're going for the London Police drop." Like they wanted that one as well. So yeah, massive congrats there. And even like the ultra rares are like $58, so above retail on there. And then we had. Do you guys go for the comic drop today?
I saw Patient Hodler talking about the issues he had.
Man, that was brutal. And I am a little bit surprised considering the fact that they pushed the drop back several days because of these issues. And I don't know. I don't know what happened in the background, whether there was just too much activity and they hadn't like the servers, like I don't know. But what I do know is that like I hit the comic on the drop. No, I didn't hit it. I hit it on a rebound. And I didn't even know if I got it. It said it was there, but I was like, I've had that before where it says I got it, but it was all sketch. And but then got it, and I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna craft. Couldn't craft. Like I kept trying to craft, and then apparently there were people who were actually able to get into the craft, and they crafted multiple posters.
Yeah. Patient Hodler got two for one deal.
Yeah, so they continue that crafting mechanism. They haven't got that down, and I'm a bit perplexed by that, honestly, with how long they've had to work that out. But I mean, what, like, is it a super big deal for me that didn't work? Like, no. Is it frustrating? Yeah, it's frustrating. And I don't know if Patient Hodler, are they going to take one of his back, because he's only supposed to craft one. That'll be.
It didn't go down so well when they took something back last time. I'm sure you guys remember what happened.
Oh yeah, but what are they supposed to do? Because then the other people who actually got it on the drop won't be able to craft otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's not good. Or
It'd
maybe
be
they'll have to add
interesting. It
additions.
is a centralized system, so they have the ability to do that. We'll see. These are going to be hard business decisions. There will be somebody pissed either way they go.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. And let's see. Woo.
So I wanted to talk about the general market. I'm sure people are kind of worried, like, a lot of people, this is your first bull run. Because a lot of people that I talk to, especially in the community, they came in with maybe at the earliest for most people here, 2021. So they came in during the massive bull run. So all they've experienced is pullbacks. And then the bull run is supposedly here and it's going up. Like, what's going on this last week? Should we be worried? Now, we are specifically talking about OMI, which OMI has actually done okay when most of the other things are pulling back. That's kind of the nice thing about diversification is OMI actually has gone up to 0.07 cents from 0.06 cents, while most things have pulled back. And most things, a lot of it was blockchain gaming has run up tremendously. And people have been super excited about it. But then a lot of new people, what they do is they chase into green candles. So they buy into something that just went 15x. And then they learn, boy, it really usually doesn't go that well for you. And it's not going to go that well for them possibly in the short term. Now, a lot of this blockchain gaming could still have another leg up. But at some point, that narrative is going to shift to something else. And blockchain gaming is going to cool until probably next year when one of the blockchain games goes absolutely massive. But this is one of the reasons diversification helps out. Like if you're in OMI, you're like, oh, this last week has done good. But I remember everyone complaining 4 weeks ago when blockchain gaming was running and they're like, oh my gosh, I should sell my OMI to roll into this thing that just went 10x. And it's like, yeah, terrible timing to do that. That's not how you do well in crypto. So a lot of people are just newer to this. Notice that your emotions are going to lead you to do all the wrong things. Also know that 95% of people do poorly in crypto at first because they do exactly what their emotions tell them to do. So a lot of what we share is like how to think about the market. At least I cover this on my channel. I know Doctor of Stuff understands this stuff, and Jordan and I talk about it internally a lot about making good decisions, because I have seen since I came in crypto 2017 that 95% of people do really poorly in crypto. Even though who here would like to go back to 2017 and be able to start in 2017? It's been an amazing ride and a huge financial change, yet where were all the people that started with me in 2017? Well, they washed out because they made a lot of bad emotional decisions and got washed out by the market, and they're not still around. So just understand that is going to be you if you're making the wrong decisions. Now, if you're just here for VeVe collectibles and you just love to collect and you don't care about the value, that whole thing doesn't apply to you. If you are here for the investing side to make life-changing gains, understand the odds are against you. And if you don't learn to do things right, it's going to go terrible for you. And know that most people don't do things right. And so once you know those things, though, it almost wakes you up from this haze that everyone gets into when they come into crypto and they think there's magic internet money. And that is not the case. You're looking for a situation where you can strategically place the odds for you rather than against you. But just notice on 70% of the crypto market, the odds are actually against you. Meme coins like Bonk, I don't buy Bonk. Why? Odds are against you. Yes, there's some stories that some people made really good money on Bonk, and had you timed it from the bottom to when it went crazy, great, you would have good money. If you would have walked up to a slot machine at just the right time and pulled it too, you would have made the same amount of money. So do I ever play slot machines? No. I also don't play meme coins. Just some thoughts on the crypto market.
Yeah. I go for it.
I was going to ask you, Rain. What do you think that there has been this pullback, but not just from gaming tokens? There's been a pullback like in general in the market, right? So do you think that gaming tokens, like there's still another pump, or now you kind of saying that the pump has happened and now I'm looking at the things that haven't pumped? Are you taking your profits now and rolling it in? Or are you still saying I still think that there's another leg up on at least some of the projects in gaming? Or yeah, what's your thoughts there?
You know, a good one to look at is Myria. It's kind of like a bellwether one. It's got enough coverage. Notice, like, not all the gaming projects have run. The gaming projects that have been covered by the really big channels. So like Crypto Banter's gaming guy. Now, what I like about his gaming guy is he knows games very well. He does not have any experience as an investor. So if he tells you something's a good deal, notice you might as well be taking it financial advice from your 13-year-old who plays a lot of video games. He doesn't know investing, even though he's on a big channel. The stuff he has covered has run up massively. The stuff Alex Becker has covered has run up massively. And the stuff Elio Trades has covered has run up massively. And that's most of what's run up, which tells me that's not new money coming in. That's existing people in crypto redirecting their money or putting in new money themselves, but there's not new people coming in. And that's what's caused this pump. And we've seen Myria go from when I said it was an amazing deal down here, that this was a green buy zone and it was bouncing between 0.11 cents and 0.17 cents. And people were scared as hell to buy, because it is scary as hell to buy when it's cheap, because people wanted a guarantee that things were turning around. And the only guarantee we had was that the lows kept getting higher and higher. And then it broke to the upside massively. Now, this was amazing deal zone. This is less amazing deal zone. This is what the fuck are you doing buying zone. And unfortunately, this is where most of the people buy, because they don't know. They want to chase into where the action is. Now, do I like Myria? Yes. And do I think Myria is going to do amazing in the coming bull run? Yes. Much more amazing than it's at now. But realize after it has this really big run, you know what comes after that is a pullback. And so now there's a chance, if it respects this line, that it continues one more leg up, maybe more, but it's not ready for blockchain gaming to run until there's a game so big that, you know, 1/10 the world is playing it. When that happens, everything in blockchain gaming is going to go berserk like you've never seen before. But here's where people lose money. They buy in right here and say, even it does go up one more leg, they're like, yay, I've made so much money. But do they sell there? No. It then reverses on them. It goes down massively. So it goes, woo, all the way down here. And guess where they sell? Down here. And they leave scarred, thinking crypto sucks. And they just were gambling. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were taking bad odds. And so the reason why crypto's worked out well for me and a bunch of other people, that 5%, is because 5% of people learn to take where the odds are for them rather than against them. Because if you were buying up here, you're buying where the odds in the short term are against you. Now, the odds in the long term are still strongly for you. But this is what washes out a lot of people. Because even if it then goes up, they're going to make the mistake of not taking profits, thinking it's going to go all the way to $1, and it's not yet. And it might not go to a full dollar later, and then it reverses on them, and then they are scared it's going to go to zero, and they sell, and then they leave crypto, and they think crypto sucks. And they just timed everything wrong. They were too scared to buy it when it was down here because they want confirmation that it was hot and not dead. So for them, this is confirmation, this area, that it's hot and not dead. And then they get it, maybe goes up a little bit more, crashes on them. And so they're just like the 95% of people who follow all the other buffaloes as all the buffaloes run off the cliff. And yet they think crypto sucks or there's something wrong with crypto. And it's just there's something wrong with how they're doing it. They don't understand. They're just not good at this. They don't know what they're doing. And when you come to that realization and you start working on becoming good at it, that is the realization that changes your world. So unfortunately for me, I know how this all happens, because even though I had 20 years background investing prior to this, I thought none of those rules applied when I came into crypto, because remember, magic, internet, money. And I bought high, watched it go higher, and didn't take profits, and saw it come crashing down. And I learned these lessons the hard way, like some of you have too. But I'm just trying to get these lessons out there so less people get wrecked by them, and you can have a much better future because you learn these lessons sooner, and that you hopefully don't get wrecked and get washed out entirely. Some of my thoughts.
I love it, man. Love it. Hey Jordan, there was
Yes.
a question in here from T Beast about Epico and Nifty
Yes.
Island. Have you
Yep.
seen it? Have you seen any of that?
I've been looking into Epico just today pretty much. The new Epico token, and
Yeah, well,
they're
it's
doing
not
Epico.
new. The token's been out for a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're pushing it now on their socials, and they said they're going to do exchanges. They've shown videos of their metaverse they're going to release. Um, it looks very very interesting. Do you know much more about it, Doctor Stuff?
I mean, I know, yeah, kind of the same thing, right? That they, man, they their token pumped like crazy. I didn't even hear that they like. I don't know. I didn't hear that they had launched their token. So as I've heard about this crazy pump, um, that's when I started looking into it. Yeah, and it went from like 0.004s to now it's at like almost 2 cents. So
Oh, I'm
pretty
looking at it now.
substantial. Um,
The market cap's still low. Market cap is still under 1 million. It says on Coin Market Cap.
Yeah, and trading volume, daily trading volume, right, is about 850,000. So very very minimal trading volume still, and it looks like you can get it on MEXC, I think, or some of the exchanges.
Yep.
Yeah, MEXC is the other one. I'm not seeing even decentralized exchanges, but I don't know, man. Like the graphics, like I tried to look. I have the David Yu NFT from their game and stuff, but I just haven't followed them. But here's the thing. They've done this massive pump. To me now, I'm saying, okay, well, they talk about exchanges, and I saw that list, and they got to be dumping a ton of money if they're saying that they got these exchanges with that trading volume and stuff. That means like they're not there to where an exchange is coming to them, right? So if they're getting other exchanges and stuff, they're forking out serious money to do that. If that happens, the token will still probably pump. I mean, like it almost always does when there's new liquidity and it's still in the gaming narrative. But will it be in the gaming narrative when will the gaming narrative still be there when they do their launch? Because they said first quarter it could be in March, so it is a bigger risk. I don't know if you guys have played the games. It was okay, like and here's what I've learned, man. I've seen so many games where the videos that they show look amazing, and then you start playing the game and you're like, this is nothing like the videos, like nothing like it. Like this is garbage. So I will say this: I have not done a deep dive into Epico Regal. I did, I was aware of them a couple of years ago when they kind of partnered with VeVe and some stuff, but not much there. But then I did see that the Nifty Island, and that looked interesting. They have a lot of IP that they've partnered with, which is wild, right? You got like Doodles and Meebits and what's that alien? What are those called? I can't remember. But yeah, like,
Minions?
and I think I even saw like some Bored Apes or some people who own apes have probably signed off on that. It looks like. So like I don't know. I haven't dived deep into Nifty Island. I did just see this like beta, and that looks again decent, and even the games, like the videos of the actual gameplay, look decent. So but I'm not familiar with the team or anything like that to go more into what exactly, or how successful they are. Their Twitter handle has about 59,000 followers. But how many of those are bots? Because I mean, I know during the last bull run, man, these projects would come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they got like 200,000 followers, and you're like, and then you look into the followers, and they were like all bots, which is a big red flag
Yep.
Mhm.
a lot of times too. So something to think about.
Yeah, you can
Um,
totally just buy followers, which if they're going in buying a bunch of followers, that means there's usually not much substance to the team. It's a
do you know?
massive red flag.
Do you know what this Vladimir is talking about for Friday? What's happening Friday? Is it an
Is that
AMA?
is that the Q&A with Ecomi? I didn't check to see the date.
I didn't see. I missed that one. Is that? Did they post that on Twitter today? I didn't.
Yeah, so Foster, I mean, let's start with Comey's actual handle, where they tweeted out basically saying, yeah, this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, they're having join Ecomi on Discord with community manager Foster is hosting the session. It says so. Sit back, relax, and ask him your questions. But to answer that question, no, I don't think that they're going to talk about exchanges. I think that this is specifically about the season one that's happening with respect to having the amount of tokens in the VeVe wallet and the bronze tickets that you're going to get and things. So
I just looked at the time. 11 a.m. is 3 a.m. for me.
That's a
That's rough.
great time to be watching it. You're going to
I'll
catch
just get
that
up at
live,
3 a.m.
right?
I'm actually going away this weekend for a little holiday as well. So I guess I'll just watch it when I get up at like 7 a.m. instead. It's all right. I'll be 4 hours behind you guys.
I want to give a shout out to P_SYV. He says, I got to thank you guys for always delivering on the updates from the crypto market. I recently diversified into a handful of solid projects and got 30 million more OMI. I think you're going to be really happy with that decision.
Ready for the bull.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Saul G bought more OMI in the recent retracement. I love it when I hear this kind of stuff, right? Because it's like it's really hard to rewire our brains to not chase green candles and to buy when the charts look boring, right? Call it just buying when it's boring, but not that the project is boring, just that the chart, the price action seems boring and it seems like nothing will ever happen. So I look for strong fundamental projects where the fundamentals are good, and fundamentals don't get much better than what Ecomi has. Like they are in the top class as far as fundamentals. People look at the charts and they're like, yes, but the charts look like shit. Yes, that is the point. That's when you want to buy, when the charts look absolutely terrible and they're wrecked, yet the fundamentals are good. It's really not that hard to understand, yet so many people really struggle with that because it's a lot more fun, like dopamine hits, chasing things that are going up because you're going to get lots of market confirmation from everybody else who's new saying you're doing exactly the right thing because they're all doing it too. And keep in mind, that's the 95% that ends up getting wrecked. So if you're doing everything they're doing, it's going to go for you like it's going to go for them. Yet buying when it's boring, when the chart seems boring, when people are saying, oh my gosh, nothing's ever going to happen with VeVe and OMI, they failed again, and this is so terrible, and win exchanges, and blah, blah, blah. That's exactly what it looks like when prices are good, which is when I like to buy. And then I wait till everyone's like, oh my gosh, my cousin's grandma just bought 5 million OMI, at $100,000. And it's like, okay. Time for me to sell.
Is this right? SoCal says only 127 people have staked 10 million OMI.
Look, like I haven't even staked all mine. I got much more than 10 million OMI. I haven't brought it all over the app. I did it initially. I brought some over from one wallet, and I was like, okay, and then just haven't brought over the rest because I'm still like a master collector, and I'm like, look, I'm not getting like the master collector points. I'm getting a lot anyways. The additional, amount of OMI I'm going to need to bring over. It's too big of a pain right now. But now that this season one is, I want more bronze tickets, so I'm going to bring the rest over. And maybe there's more like me, SoCal, but maybe not. So it'll be interesting to see right before the beginning of season one if there's additional people who bring in that 10 million OMI, because we saw OMI pump after that announcement, which means that people bought. Now, did they buy just to get to the 10 million, or did they just buy to get some to put in there? So I think that would be a better measure is, okay, only 127 have 10 million, but how many came in after the announcement, right? Because we got to see like the interest there from the public who follows VeVe right now to say it's worth it to me to now buy OMI where it wasn't before so that I can get these bronze tickets to see how successful, at least initially, the program's going to be. Now, here's the thing that's going to happen. And it's kind of along the same lines as what Rain was talking about, right? Buying when it's boring. So right now, like Wes says, you know what? It's been 2.5 years. We don't have a master collector program. I am with you, Wes. I am with you, my friend. I mean, I did an interview with NFT Pirates like a 1.5 years ago. And he's like, what's your strategy? You buying grails? You buying for MZP? And I was like, I'm definitely picking up grails, but I'm like, I really want sets, so I get those points, right? Like that was one of the main things that I was doing, and so now I'm rewarded. I'm a master collector with nothing to show for it except for the points right now, and I get that, right? But here's what's going to happen: bronze ticket season 1 is going to happen, and then season 2, I believe within season 2 they're going to drop something. You're going to be able to get those use those MCP points and bronze tickets, and then everyone who didn't put in the OMI for season 1 is going to want to put it in for season 2. But by then, the price is going to shoot up, right? And it's going to cost them a lot more to then get into season 2, and they've already missed out on season 1 stuff. You can record, like, look, I mean, remind me of this in 3.5 months. Let's see what happens. But
We're
that
talking
is
about this as well. OMI is not GoChain OMI in the app. It's just layer
No,
2
it's layer
IMX.
2.
It's immutable X.
Yeah. Do not try to send your GoChain OMI into the VeVe app at all. It is
That will not
layer
work.
2 OMI, and there's a whole process. There's videos on that.
Foster
Yeah.
has a good video, right? I think Foster has a good
Yeah,
bridging
Foster
video.
has a great video on it. And so look, I'm familiar with crypto, and I still was just like, I want to make sure I do this right. So I had the instructions up that Ecomi put out, plus Foster's video, and just to make sure I did it right. And I did a test transaction, and yes, it did cost me more gas to do it that way, but it's the smart way to do it, so that you're not messing up, you're not sending a massive amount and doing it wrong and losing all of that money to save you $8 in gas fees or something. So
For sure. Mike has a really good comment here. Community and users need to grow. All the stuff we complain about is only because we're such a small group. All the sentiment and crap we hear won't exist when more users and hyped sentiment. It's true.
That's just what happens, right? Like when I was covering Miria when it was so low, people were like, oh, the vesting is terrible and this and the tokenomics are horrible and such a small percentage of token supply is going to come in. I was like, yes, but look at this chart. This chart says the price is turning around. And people are like, oh, well, what's coming that's going to make a turnaround? It's like, I have no idea. But sure enough, it bounced up, went crazy, went 10 or 15x. So some people are like, you know, even the comments in here, and Arfi asks a good question. He's like, is OMI going to do all right through this bull run? Feels like there's better narratives to get into right now. And the challenge with that is, yes, what other narratives are better? So AI's run a little bit. Blockchain gaming is way up. DeFi hasn't run. So DeFi is a good narrative. OMI is in the digital collectible space, which has not come into point. So I like to buy narratives when they're totally out of focus, when it feels boring, when it feels like there's other better narratives to get into. That's the time, because your feelings are broken when you're new to this, and you learn over time to like redirect your feelings to be the opposite of what they are. So when it feels like there's better narratives to get into because it's so boring and nothing is happening, that's usually a sign that it's a good time. Well, some people want me to predict, like, well, when is OMI going to happen? And the truth is, I don't know. My magic crystal ball from Walmart doesn't work. So I just buy when it's boring, and then I hold till it comes into the narrative. I do use diversification because, look, OMI's been down for a very long time. And some people think because OMI's been down for so long, it's going to stay down. And they're going to find out it won't. It will flip around. And because it's been down so long, it's going to flip around really, really hard. It's going to go up a lot. And they're going to be blown away, and they're going to have missed their opportunity because they haven't rewired to buy when it feels so boring. And it feels so boring right now. I get it. And that's my indicator. That's why I've been continuously buying more OMI. And other things that are boring. What I have not been buying for the last 6 weeks is blockchain gaming. I was buying that when it was boring.
So 3GP Media says, most folks I know who held OMI bags have moved on to and invested in other alts and have made bank. This token requires extreme patience. Look, one of the things that we talk about, and like with Jordan, when we really first started talking to Jordan, both Rain and I, and Jordan was like, he was all in on OMI, and we're like, you need to diversify. You have to diversify. You can be bullish on OMI, right? And the whole point is that different narratives hit at different times. And so exactly, look, if you don't have a certain amount of funds, and you're like, I need like one shot, or like I just don't have a lot, and like I don't know when Omi's gonna hit. So like I'm buying Omi at these prices, but like I still am buying tokens that I believe are like in the narrative, right? Like I bought a Myria node in 2022 before the gaming narrative hit, and it was not cheap, right? Just like the node itself was like $5,500 for one node, and that was like Myria hadn't come out yet, right? They all these promises and stuff, and Myria launches their nodes, and the token like tanks, like immediately, right? And like, but I wasn't panicked about it. I felt like I'd done the research. I was like, they got these teams. I've seen what Gala has done before too. Like, so it could go to zero, but it could go up. But like, there's constantly other projects and stuff like that you can get into. And Rain talks about it. I talk about it, right? Jordan's talked about different tokens. So I wanted to touch on this a little bit. Like one of the tokens that I continue to buy into right now is animal concerts. Now this is a high risk, very high risk, high reward. And I say high risk because it looks like the team is still active. I look on Twitter. I've tried to reach out to him. Rain had the prior CEO on his channel like a year ago, or maybe that was
It was about a year ago.
Okay,
less than a year actually.
Right, but they got like a new CEO, and we've been trying to get it in touch with them, but they're kind of active on Twitter, but not a lot. But here's the thing, and this is where my risk play is the whole NFT, digital AR, mixed reality, like all of that narrative really hasn't hit, but I believe it's going to hit when the Apple Vision Pro, when that comes out. Because my understanding is that Apple is also, it's either Apple or Google or one of these major companies are installing cameras in all of these sports venues to then be able to use their product there, right? So that's for sports stuff. But then if that hits the narrative, regardless if Animal Concerts is actually good or what they've done, it'll be in the narrative, and it's like one of the only ones that is doing that, right? And they actually have connections to major like artists in the space, Alicia Keys, Snoop Dogg. They've done a partnership with like some big musicians, right? And so I think that narrative could peak. So like I am focusing some of my funds on that, and this isn't financial advice. I'm just telling you, like, and talking about diversification, so that, for example, we don't get stuck watching OMI, and that's the only project we're in. And then we get emotional and we're saying, OMI is doing nothing. I'm finally selling out at the bottom, right? To get into something and maybe that pumps and maybe it doesn't, or you're chasing these green candles. You're chasing Myria that pumped significantly from when Rain was talking about it when the token first launched and tanked, right? Those are the types of things that diversification allows for more emotional stability, where you're not counting on just one token, and when nothing is happening with that token, everything else is pumping. That's when the emotion takes over, and then you're like, screw it, I'm sick of this token, I'm out. And I feel like that's what happened with a lot of the OMI community.
Yeah.
Is that, they got so frustrated that nothing was moving. They're seeing all of these other things moving except for their token. Well, that's the same thing that happened with XRP, the XRP army, right? All of these people who are bag holders of XRP, and then that lawsuit happened, and forever and ever and ever, they just had to sit there because that's the only thing they were convicted on. It was XRP, and they saw all of these other tokens in 2021. These bull runs happen because they didn't diversify. So I'm just saying, diversification is going to help you immensely if you're really trying to be successful in investing.
Yeah, awesome. Everything you said there makes sense to me. And since listening to you and Rain, I have diversified quite a bit. And I feel like we should touch on our, a little bit about chat we had last week when we had that article out with the bronze tickets, and with the sort of felt like watering down to me, and I got very frustrated. And you guys talked me around a little bit, which is good. But I feel like we should make it public. This is the first time in the whole time I've been buying OMI and looking into the project that I was not bullish. Right? We had in our chat group, we had Patient Hodler. He's like, I'm bullish. He's like, you're bearish. This is like something weird's happening. The whole world's flipped upside down. And
I know, because
I read
he's
that.
been bearish for so long. That's so funny.
Yeah, it is really funny.
I missed that private discussion. I think I had to go early, so I probably missed it.
Yeah. It was basically we just dropped. They just Foster, or Ecomi just dropped the article with the bronze tickets.
Yeah, that
Do
it
you
did
guys?
feel like it was watered down, and
Mm.
when I saw that, it wasn't exactly exciting, but I was like, maybe they're just giving themselves more time for this
It,
bigger
it it does seem
implementation.
like buying time, and so
Yeah, because
I'll make public that I did sell a little bit more OMI to diversify. I've still got a very very large bag of OMI, so don't worry about that, guys. But I was a little bit bearish, and that's the first time, and I think that's because bronze tickets to me. Being a tech guy, knowing a lot about how to develop apps, and I've developed apps before, I've developed websites, I understand how it all works. They had like a whole year just to roll out bronze tickets, and they didn't do it, right? So
Mhm.
that caught me a bit off guard, just thinking that they're not going to do it till April. And it's still something that we're going to be able to get these bronze tickets just by staking OMI in January to March. I don't like the date of April 1st being the next season. April Fools.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that.
I told a few people, they're like, so there'll be proper bronze tickets in April 1st, and they're like, that's a bit dodgy. Like, that's just because of the seasons, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. But yeah, look, it's going to be really exciting when we do get proper bronze tickets and we get the burning. I think the burning is what I was missing as well. But yeah, I was a bit bearish last week. It was really just for that one day. I think it was Thursday last week. For you guys, it was probably Wednesday.
I was taken aback actually, Jordan, as I saw that. I was like, that the FUD just kept coming from Jordan, and
I was a
but I
FUD
get
master
it, right?
supreme.
There can be that frustration, and that's one of the things is when you're highly concentrated, even though you have diversified, right? It's still one of your biggest holdings, and so when that happens, there is definitely frustration when things don't go according to timelines that we've kind of been told, or and understanding kind of on the background like those questions, and I get that. So and I love that you like look. I mean, you obviously don't have to be transparent. I think it's great that you are about. You're like, hey, I sold some of my OMI to continue to diversify. However, you still have bigger bags than the majority of people, right? Even in our OMI well group and stuff. So I love that you're diversifying. And talking about that, and I think that that's so important to do that, to point that out, right? And look, NFT Hero saying the FUD is justified. Like it's I said FUD, and that's not the right term, right? Because you were bringing up legitimate concerns, and that's never FUD. I think it's important to do that, and then because what that does is it makes you pause and say, do I still have the same level of conviction? If the answer to that is no, that's the point in which you do start selling. Like if you're not convicted, you don't have that conviction anymore. You're concerned. You can start saying, am I going to do this, or am I going to slow down my purchases or anything like that, right? So now it's the FUD is when it's just like unreasonable or illogical, or it's just personal attacks on stuff like that. People are just angry in general, and it's constantly negative. Then they never point out the positive things that are happening. Those are the people that I would quote unquote term FUDders. You obviously weren't doing that. You were kind of a little bit upset, thinking that the bronze tickets, that timeline, that it should have happened then and that it didn't. That was frustrating. But again, the bronze tickets for me, man, until you can buy layer 2 OMI on the app or on the web app, bronze tickets don't really do much. It's too big of a
That's true.
hassle
It's true. It's
to
true.
convert your OMI to layer 2 OMI and get it to the app to use it for bronze tickets, honestly. So I do
That might
love
be
that.
part of the delay. Maybe they can implement bronze tickets right now, but they don't want to do it till you can buy OMI in the app to make it make
That
sense.
will mark a very bullish turn for me when you can truly buy layer 2 OMI with a credit card on the web app. That will
Yeah.
be massive for OMI,
Sign
in
me
my
up.
opinion.
Sign me up.
Well,
That'd be awesome.
and it's going to go that way, right? So Jordan, you did get fudded out a little bit at the bottom with legitimate concerns, and that's usually what the bottom feels like, right? Is it just feels like loss after loss after loss after loss, and that's why I've been buying more OMI rather than less, and I have been rebalancing, but I've been selling some of my blockchain gaming stuff that's way up and buying more OMI, buy more animal concerts, more of some other things. Animal concerts, very risky point. If it survives, it could do 100 or 1,000x from here. If it survives.
What's
And
the market cap? What's the market cap for them? Do
low.
you
It's
guys
like
know?
it's so messy. Like their self-reported market cap, I don't even know. Their fully diluted market cap's like 3 or 4 million.
Okay.
So
So
it's
not
like
reloading.
it's risky. I think you can get on MEXC. You can get on MEXC even if you're on the US, if you use a VPN. So MEXC is a good exchange for some things like that, or you can get it using Pancake Swap or Quick Swap. I can't remember, Polygon, or on the Binance Smart Chain, one of those two. But anyway, like diversifying out of things that are way, way up. Now, if you think about really what you're trying to do here, if you're trying to become a savage crypto investor, think of like the Navy SEALs, right? And so when you're brand new to this type of thing, think about incoming gunfire towards you. And that would like freak you out, especially as you hear bullets going over your head. You see the tracer rounds and it freaks you out and you run and you jump in the water and you hide. And that's what new people do when like the FUD starts coming and everything. They freak out and they just can't handle that stuff. And just keep in mind, 95% of people just do the wrong things in crypto because their emotions are leading them. And so the goal is to become really good at this, because the really good at this people make incredible gains, the kind of gains you can't make anywhere else in your life. And right now, the barrier to entry is so low. We have this moment in time that we might not ever have again, where we get to front run the institutions. Realize the SEC is not here to protect you. It's here to protect the institutions against you. And the reason why everyone's so mad is the SEC guidelines has shut them out while giving you access. And that's what they're trying to reverse. That's why they're trying to declare everything as a security, because they realize, well, shit, all our friends can't get in, and yet all these common people can. That's not supposed to happen, and yet it is happening. However, the case they'll make is, oh, people are too dumb to be able to invest their own money. And some people make the case for them. Don't let that be you. Realize you're trying to get good at this, because if you get really good at this, you can go from not a lot of money to the kind of money you can't make anywhere else, but only if you're good. So think about trying to become a Navy SEAL in crypto. A Navy SEAL doesn't run when incoming fire is coming. He just evaluates what is the risk. Okay, do I move now? Do I hunker down? Those kind of things. And he just makes smart, calculated decision. He doesn't get all freaked out and scared and panic and running around making dumb decisions. That's what 95% of people in crypto are doing. So you're looking to become a Navy SEAL in this thing that can make you life-changing wealth, or at least that's why I came here. And even with my 20 years prior experience, boy, I made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of those are what I share with you. So hopefully you make less of them. The journey is hard. And guess what? Navy SEALs, they end up with some scars. They end up with some stories. Why? While they were just new and figuring things out, they made some mistakes, and you'll make some mistakes. Realize you got to commit to this for the long term. You got to get involved with people that aren't just shilling things when they're high. The biggest YouTube channels are often the worst. The way you get really big on YouTube is when something goes 15x, you run videos on why it's going to go another 30 or 50 or 100x from here. You'll get lots of subscribers. All those subscribers might get wrecked, but you get lots of subscribers, and then people will assign a lot of credibility to you because you have a lot of subscribers. That is not really what you're looking for if you're trying to do things different than the 95% of people. You're looking for people that make articulate cases that make sense on how to buy when it's boring, and how to evaluate undervalued projects and why it might do well, and to turn the odds in your favor, right? The reason I love crypto, like I'll never touch gambling, and people say, oh, crypto is like gambling. I'm like, no, you're completely wrong. Because in crypto, I can take chances where it's like 70% going to go for me, 30% maybe it fails, but 70% is going to go for me. And if I'm right, I won't just double my money. I might make a 10 or 100 or 200 or 500x. And I've got a 70% chance that it at least doubles my money, if not going to 100x. Those are the type of odds I take in crypto. Where else can you even find those type of odds? Even in regular venture capital investing, you don't even have those kind of odds. And we're like early stage venture capitalist investors inside of the crypto space. The crypto space has non-normal things going on with this really short market cycle of 4 years from top to top. It's really this ideal situation that over the next 4 to 8 years, crypto will create more millionaires that came from nothing than anything in history. But those millionaires will have some certain attributes. They'll think with a logical mind rather than an emotional one. And they'll learn, even though they'll make some mistakes, they'll learn how to put the odds in their favor and take those bets over and over again. So it'd be really fun to see all the millionaires and some more billionaires who emerge out of this that might have come from absolutely nothing at all.
Awesome. Yeah. So Omi is still my biggest bag, but my Cardano bag has done so well this year. It's almost caught up to my Omi bag. And I know Danny the Bull had his biggest bag was Omi, and then his Cardano bag has actually flipped his Omi bag now. So it is interesting how that can
So a
happen.
good time
And
to sell Cardano for more OMI.
could be yeah. I mean it could be for me now. I'm really happy with my diversification. I don't think I'm touching anything now. I'm going to try and keep my hands off the tokens now because I've sort of got good positions in everything I like, and it is difficult. I've got a little small play bag, and I think that's important for people that have to do something. Maybe just take 5% of your portfolio and play with that 5% and leave everything. Just hold all the rest of it, or else you're going to end up making bad moves and losing money. And that 5% could still make a good move, right? As Rain says, he doesn't touch meme coins, but if you do touch meme coins, some of them do like 20x's, 30x's. It's crazy, and a lot of them go to zero. A lot of them go to zero. That's definitely gambling.
98% of them go to zero, and 2% create these chases that everyone buys the 98% thinking they'll be the next 2%. And the odds are against you. I'd say the odds of you winning in meme coins is 30%.
Super.
I just won't play those odds. Why would I take a 30% chance? And it's not even actually 30%.
I think it's a lot lower than that, right?
You'll hit a home run on it. So I just don't play those odds, especially because there's much better odds available.
The only meme coin I would mention that you could research for yourself is the Cardano SNEK SNEK. Because that one's the Cardano community one. That if you've watched that, it doesn't drop at all. It just slowly goes up, and it's not going up that fast.
Because it goes up until it doesn't, man.
Yeah, it's hard to buy. It's hard to sell, right?
Is exactly the thing. So what I don't like about meme coins is what kind of predictability do they have?
Yeah.
How can you stack the odds in your favor? Now, if you're friends with Elon Musk and he calls you and he says, "Hey, I'm going to tweet this out," now the odds are stacked in your favor, and I would all of a sudden believe in meme coins. Why? Because I have information where I can then put the odds in my favor. The reason I don't go to the casino is because I know the odds are stacked against me. And some people are like, "Oh, I win." And the truth is they don't. Very few percentage of people win. And those ones who do win, it's because they're counting cards, which using counting cards, they're able to redirect so the odds are slightly in their favor. Well, in the crypto space, by doing fundamental research, identifying solid projects with good narratives where the price is down, the odds get massively stacked in my favor that over time, I'm going to win huge. And so in crypto, like even when I was new at this, I only had a 50% success rate because I was investing in risky stuff like meme coins. I learned that lesson the hard way. And even then in 2021, I went to a net worth. Like I hit some really good numbers in 2021, even though I wasn't even very good at this yet. Since then, I've refined better, so my win rate is much, much higher. But even with a win rate of 50%, the kind of gains you can make is amazing. But meme coins are going to decrease your overall win rate unless you just happen to hit a home run. But you're just as likely to walk into a casino, put $5 at a slot machine and win there as you are in a meme coin. I just don't like those odds.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people chase into a meme coin that already came out and then they flip it for a quick flip like a day or two later. I can't fault them for that.
Yeah.
They're just looking at the timing. They're not really writing it. They're just making a quick flip. If you have some technical analysis background, that's not a terrible idea. I don't worry about that myself, but like I know I would have when I was relatively new and I was trying so hard to get every advantage I could because I didn't have a lot to work with and I was trying to gain more so that I could then roll it into more. I don't worry about those things anymore, but I used to.
So I like this comment Mo Collections says. He said, "Not going to lie, I sometimes think 5 years down the line and think the project and the app is more established and OMI's not going anywhere. There can only be development for the token." So you talk about that, Rain, a little bit with like the 2%, right? Everyone's looking for the 2%. Like everyone's afraid of like missing the bull run, and that could happen. I don't think it will. I think that OMI will ride some narrative, but the problem is so many of these other projects. I am banking on the fact that I am trying to do research on the projects that I think will stick around. Obviously, But then also as a part of that they'll hit a narrative, and some of those projects still don't go, and so they go nowhere, right? Or they fail. But a lot of the crypto space is speculation, right? And so a lot of these projects, they bank on speculation. They might hit some exchanges, right? But then they still die within a couple of years. I don't see VeVe doing that, which means that they're going to continue to work on the token, and the token, like they're going to continue to build out value for the token in the long run. And so like, even if I'm like, okay, well, like I had OMI in the short to medium term, or more like the medium to long term of like a 3 to 5 year hold when I first started buying in. And but as I've seen them develop, and some of it has been slow, I'm like, look, I have put some OMI on a ledger that I'm not touching for like 5 to 10 years from today, to see where that's at, just in case.
That's your kids' OMI. That's your kids' OMI.
Yeah, because you just don't know. But like, this is one of the things, as crypto gets more established, right? As we get more accounting guidelines and actual regulations in this space, and it becomes more mainstream, some of these tokens could be worth real money, because it's the utility behind it. It makes a lot of sense to just use the token, and there's that ease of accessibility to the token, which is still being developed in the crypto space. It is such a pain. It is such a pain to buy crypto, like honestly. And I mean, one of my buddies who is a whale was sitting there texting me, and he's like, this transaction isn't showing up in my wallet. Like what the heck is going on? Right. And he's like, I just swapped a lot of money and I'm kind of freaking out, right? Like, we can't have that. Mainstream is not ready for crypto yet, but eventually it will be, as the tech develops, and the projects that are around that can be around for like, decades, like I think that VeVe can be, then all of a sudden that token, man, in the long term as well. I want some short-term gains as well, and I believe that can happen. But even in the long term, like Mo was saying, I'm like, maybe they do miss this bull run, but like they're going to continue to develop utility for that token to where people will want to use it. Those are my thoughts on it.
I do want to give a shout out to one of my friends who I told about Kopi a while back, and he just cashed out $180,000 from cornucopias, and him and his wife went and celebrated. And he cashed it out at 9 cents, right? It went all the way to like 13 cents, I think. But he was very excited with his gains. Cornucopias at one point was way cheaper than it is now. And so he made tremendous gains by buying blockchain gaming when it was boring and nobody was talking about it. Now, did he take his gains too early? For him, he watches crypto very passively, so it was a nice big win for him. I think there'll be bigger gains in the future, though a lot of blockchain gaming is probably going to pull back. But it's good to see a good friend of mine, just absolutely nail it with patience, and then have some massive gains for just being patient on stuff.
Did he tell you
I
how
did
much
want to share, like somebody was, as people were talking about OMI, and I did want to address this narrative idea, right? So some people say Ecomi is going to miss the bull run. Ecomi is not going to miss the bull run. And they say if it doesn't have all these things ready in exchange, it's going to miss the bull run. That's just not even accurate. Let me ask you, what big announcements has Myria made in the last 2 months? What major game did they release that went so big everyone was playing it? Nothing. They did nothing. The blockchain gaming narrative hit, and Myria ran like crazy. Myria is a good project. They're working on things, but nothing else happened other than the blockchain gaming narrative hit, and Myria ran like crazy. So OMI is not going to miss this bull run. All that has to happen is that people become aware of digital collectibles as they're becoming aware of the crypto space. All of a sudden, some people will dawn on, holy shit, the first Darth Vader on the blockchain. That's a big deal. Holy shit, there's a Boba Fett on the blockchain. Holy cow, they have the Star Wars licenses. Oh my gosh, they're going to have this epiphany, or they're going to think it's an epiphany. They're like, this is such a big deal. And you will have massive amounts of new money that weren't previously aware of VeVe and Ecomi coming into this space, going crazy. And VeVe is just going to continue doing what they're doing. And it's going to seem all of a sudden like, oh, just win after win after win. They're just doing what they're doing. you're just really waiting for the narrative to come around. Now, right now, digital collectibles narrative is in almost nobody's mind. Another comment somebody had is like, okay, I have a whole bunch of OMI, and I have, Charlie D says, I have over 2,900 NFTs between collectibles and comics and 12 million OMI. Don't know if I should get more NFTs or OMI. Well, a couple things. Number one, the NFTs be very, very selective on. Most won't perform all that well, but some will perform exceptionally well. You're looking for first appearances of massive IP. If it's not a first appearance, there better be something really special about it, or it's going to do okay when the bull run hits and people are talking about digital collectibles. But some things are going to massively outperform, and that's what you're trying to do when you get the specific collectibles. OMI is just like you just buy OMI. So which one will do better? Well, I think some digital collectibles will outperform OMI. OMI will generally outperform most digital collectibles at this price. I would suggest, and it seems like this is self-serving, and partly it is and partly it isn't, I have a course on 2 projects that are massively undervalued. They have higher than average potential for gains with way lower risk. They're also in the digital collectibles space. And I think nobody is talking about them on YouTube. Nobody's looking at them. Nobody's thinking about them. It's massive intellectual property that everyone's passing up on. The course, it's unfortunate. You can see that the prices bottomed in October when I released this course. And since the prices aren't as cheap, I've literally been pumping this on myself because I continue to put thousands of dollars into these 2 projects. And prices are way higher because I started covering it because the floors are cheaper. So it actually cost me money to make that course, but that's okay. Like if you use the codes on my videos, you get like 60% off still. And, it makes a win for you, makes a win for me. But this is another diversification that I've been buying a lot because I have a nice OMI vault or VeVe vault. I have a lot of OMI. I do continue to buy more OMI, at least until I pass up Jordan, then I'll be happy. But, yeah, so OMI is at a good price. I have been diversifying out of some of my other stuff in OMI. I've been especially diversifying out of some of my other stuff into these 2 projects I cover in that course. And still yet, nobody outside of me is talking about those courses. I do want to point out some other things within this space that nobody is talking about. So Ecomi's price, let's look at that. If you'll share my screen, Jordan.
Yep.
So here's Ecomi on CoinMarketCap, right? And the market cap's at 186 million. Wow, that's really cool. But if you want to diversify, there's also Chili's, which football is one of the, international football, or in the U.S. is called soccer. It's one of the highest played sports in the world, the most money behind it. What some of the athletes in football or soccer are now making is absolutely stunning and incredible. Yet Chili's, which is the blockchain that has some of the best digital collectibles for soccer, well, the price is way, way, way down and nobody's talking about it right now. The price action looks really, really boring. Well, that's what I look for. You can get on Binance. You can even get on Coinbase these days. Coinbase. Cool. That's a big deal. Flow is another one that nobody is talking about. And look how boring this chart looks. Oh my gosh. That looks so boring. It's all the way down to 78 cents. It was once $38. Okay, so it's massively down. Nobody's talking about it. Flow has NBA Top Shots, NFL All Day, UFC Strike. So they have some top intellectual property. This is the blockchain that fuels it, and nobody's thinking about it because digital collectibles is out of the narrative. But it won't always be, and it will hit really, really strong. And you're going to see this very boring chart go a very different direction when that happens.
Is it? Oh, okay. Cool. I just want to quickly point out Mike H has a really good comment here. It's pretty simple, boys. OMI gets a couple big exchanges, drops some important utility, and Pokemon will all be millionaires. If not, I'm divorced. It's not that complicated. It's a win-win.
Mike H always has the best comments.
Always, man. I don't think there's been a single show where he hasn't made us laugh like multiple times. Like during the stream, it's so good.
West says Miri is overrated. If you look at Gala went to multi-billions in their market cap, and they weren't the best thing ever. I think Miria has a chance to go in the multi-billions as well.
Yeah,
At
I
least
think they
one
have
day.
a chance to surpass Gala. I think they learned some lessons from Gala that Gala made, but it's still pretty early to see. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's overpumped right now. And I think it's going to pump a little bit more and then it's going to settle down for a long while, possibly 6 or 9 months, waiting for the greater bull run that will happen. Imagine like it looks like this. Illuvium releases a game that probably has some bugs and it's out of the beta and people are actually playing it and earning some of their stuff. And it takes a while for them to get some of the bugs worked out. But as Bitcoin is really going strong, say next summer or later next year, say Illuvium or some other big blockchain game really gets attention and starts getting massive adoption because all the world is starting to think and talk about crypto as Bitcoin has gone so high and other things have gone so high. The world's attention turns to cryptocurrency and everybody's talking about Illuvium or some other game, whether it's Shrapnel's game or Gunzilla's game. One of these games has some massive attention. It becomes one of the top played games in the world. Then everyone's going to be looking at crypto and stuff. And Miria is going to do incredibly well during that time. Will Miria be the best? No, but that's what it's going to take for Miria to really, really keep pumping from here. And that moment when some game hits like the world's attention is still not here. So this little pump that we have, I don't know what caused it other than maybe Alex Becker. I don't know what really made it. The charts looked like they were wanting to turn around on Miria and a few other ones anyway. So maybe it was just the charts finally, the buy pressure finally breaking it to the upside, and then people chase green candles. I'm not quite sure why the last 6 weeks all of a sudden everyone's like, oh yeah, duh, blockchain gaming. Yeah.
You
So I don't
mentioned
know
to me,
what.
and I got in Miria, and I think I got about a 300% gain on it so far. But it has retraced a little bit. But I think if it pumps up again, maybe I'll take some profits. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a chance, and I say it's only 55% chance that it breaks further to the upside and it goes to like 2.5 cents. There's about a 45% chance that it goes down from here for quite a while. And so, like, I don't take those odds. Would I buy Miria now on that chance? No. No. Have I sold some Miria? Yes, I've taken profits on a bunch of it, but I still have a whole ton because if it does go down for a while, I'm content to just hold it and accumulate more. And there is like a 55% chance that I think it goes up as high almost to 2.5 cents. It'll probably fall just shy of that. And then it'll probably come crashing down for a while.
And you have the nodes as well, right? Both of you guys have nodes.
Yeah, I bought 21 of them. I'll probably buy some more. If it does go to 2.5 cents, the Miria I'm holding in reserves, I basically get the nodes for far fewer Miria tokens. So if it does take another run up, I'm going to then cash in a bunch of Miria nodes.
That's awesome. And Dr. Stuff, have you found it's printing money for you now? Have you made your money back on the node you got?
Yeah. I made my money back already on the tokens, and I took profits. I sold, and I've continued to diversify into other projects, right? And I've definitely bought more OMI, and then I bought more Animal Concerts and Spores, I'm looking at like Chain GPT a little bit. I have
was looking at ChatGPT.
Orbify, which is another kind of like AI project, but Chain GPT, I'm looking at one of the things that I think is going to be a big deal, and this is kind of trying to guess which launch pads are going to be the most successful is hard to do, but Chain GPT, they are going to be an AI project launch pad, and they've already got some substantial exposure, and so they made more connections and things like that. So I think that Chain GPT could do well. I got into the pre-sale. I had an opportunity to get in the pre-sale of Chain GPT right during the craze of Chat GPT 3 or 4 coming out. And I didn't. And so I got into Orbify, and that's still done okay. But anyways, I continue to diversify in that, and very, very happy with Miria and what it's done so far. And it's funny, Wes, just saying that it's overrated. I'd like to hear the support on that. Like any token that pumps, it could be overpumped for what it's at right now, but that's the crypto space, right? And that's why I sold at those prices. I was like, this is a great time to sell. And I like the node idea. Cornucopias, they just did some node sales. So I bought some Copy nodes right? Because I do believe in that project. I think that they're going to be around for a long time. That team continues to just impress. It is what I don't feel like they've made a misstep so far. Starting from where they started and what they've built so far, it's incredible. So I do like the idea of nodes in general, because it is kind of like a perpetual income that you don't get from just buying tokens. So we'll see.
Awesome. We've got a few good quotes here. A quote tweet of Charmouth talking it. You guys know what that is?
Chamath is a billionaire from a bunch of tech investments.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's an interesting character. I like that he comes on a YouTube channel. I don't agree always with his thoughts, but hey, the guy has billions and billions and billions of dollars. So, okay, maybe he's right on those things. But we'll see. We'll see over time. He's been kind of slow on crypto, and he tends to go pretty conservative, which it's easy to go conservative when you already have tens of billions of dollars. In fact, when I have tens of billions of dollars, I'll probably be investing fairly conservative too, and thinking, geez, if I can make 5x from here over the next 4 years, that would be amazing. When you're trying to grow 5x over 4 years, that's pretty amazing compared to what real estate and other things can do for you. But compared to what riskier stuff, if you can hedge those risks through research, can do for you, that's really, really slow gains, right? So in a cycle, if you're investing in smart altcoins that you've researched and vetted and you've become pretty good at vetting them, you should be going from a 4-year cycle. If you're not doing at least 30x, you're doing something wrong.
It's exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to see my portfolio hit the 1M again and then keep going up from there.
Massively up from there. Like what's coming is really exciting. And you felt a little bit of excitement, but what was crazy about this little bit of excitement is almost no new people were coming into crypto. Very, very, very few new people were coming in crypto. What it was, existing people in crypto putting more money in because they were like, okay, getting some kind of confirmation that they are right on this. When new people are coming into crypto and they're throwing all kinds of money into it, that's when it's going to go absolutely nuts, like you can't believe. And it will literally be like gold coming into buckets. Now, here's the downside of this. This is what happens. Everyone who's here right now, your timing is so good, you're going to think you're far more of a genius than you are over the coming year. Because even your meme coins will pump and you'll learn some very bad lessons. You'll think, oh my gosh, see, meme coins are amazing. No, your just timing was amazing, but you're not as genius actually making some bad decisions. So if you're diversifying, some bad decisions won't wreck you because you're diversified and your winners will do so well that it erases the losses from your bad decisions. And that's why, like, I'm so passionate about this space. Like, it's so freaking exciting. People who don't get this, like, I stopped trying to talk people into it. I'm just like, they're not worth my effort. Try to talk them into it if they aren't getting it. Unfortunately, they'll come to me when it's too late, and I'll have to tell them not to buy then. But like, I don't try to talk people into it. I just know they're going to miss this chance of a lifetime because their mind isn't open. And right now is the time to be here. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And it will seem like if they just buy now and they don't sell until everyone's grandma is trying to buy crypto and that's their kind of guideline to sell, they will have amazing returns even if they buy shit from here.
I have something to show. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Yeah, here we go. Can you guys see this? It's a new crypto ad.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. It's like BitMEX or something
Here
like
we go.
that. An exchange.
No, it's
not this one.
Not this one.
This is the full one.
Oh, okay. This
I've
is
seen
the
the
one.
half.
Okay.
What if we get him?
I didn't see the cuffs. That's great.
You know what's interesting these days? Bitcoin. Look for Bitwise, my friends.
Bitwise. Okay.
How is that? How is that?
Running, man.
We have full-on Bitcoin ads from huge companies now. They're going to be marketing the crap out of Bitcoin to the masses. It's coming.
That's
right?
so, Jordan. So that's one of the things that I talk about. So the SEC in the past, there's been a couple times where the SEC with an ETF or something, they have selected only one ETF, or there's only been one ETF applicant, right? And what happens is they kind of become the kingmaker in that, because whoever gets that ETF first gets the majority of the flows, even going forward, right? So I think that what's going to happen this time is that the SEC will come in January, when they have to make this decision, and they don't get to like make a decision. I don't get what people are like. Oh, if the Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, it's like they don't have an argument anymore. They already approved the futures Bitcoin ETF, and so the whole argument that who was it that came, the first one that came, they were basically like, well, wait a second, you're saying that the risks aren't mitigated, yet we've already put into place all of the mitigants that we had for the futures Bitcoin ETF. It has to get approved, because otherwise you can take it back to court and then they'll be forced to approve it, right? Like, it's happening.
Well, they'll have an egg on their face.
Yeah, on top of egg on their face, right? So they will be forced if they decide and say like, no, we're not going to do it. Well, they'll go back to court and they will be forced, right? But we know it's not happening anymore. Like, BlackRock has had multiple discussions with the SEC this month, right? It's coming. And so what's going to happen is, more than likely, this isn't 100% guaranteed, but more than likely, they're going to approve all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs at the same time. So then there's a mad dash for all of those companies to market the crap out of their spot Bitcoin ETF. So you are going to see in January in Q1 massive ads about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ETF and how wonderful it is and all of this stuff. They're going to hire all of these marketing experts, these marketing firms, to make it very, very enticing to purchase these spot Bitcoin ETFs. And it's going to bring people into being like, well, what if I just bought, what else is there to buy? What else is there, right? So when you talk about this is the first of many to come, Jordan, and it is going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Mark my words.
I can't wait. I was going to get to Mike H's comment here. Due to OMI officially entered into the same-sex marriage, as my wife has completely emasculated me due to my choices. Let's see what my pronouns are in the years of 2025, running with the Bulls boys.
I'm like, Mike, we need to talk. Yes, because like wives have a hard time understanding this. And it's like when you try to reason with them on what it like, literally sometimes it depends on the wife. They can't wrap their mind around it. So I've learned not to try to convince or anything. I just say, trust me, be patient. Trust me, be patient. Because that's the only thing you can say to them. Because then they're in the point they're like, I don't trust you or I won't be patient. But like trying to reason with them and help them understand it, I'm still not able to explain it to my wife. And she was with me in 2021. Holy cow. Like you think that it's not even an argument anymore, yet it's actually not. But that's only from the past 4 months. Up until 4 months ago, it was.
Yeah. Look, my wife watches this show every single week, and she still doesn't fully understand what we talk about. So like it's not that easy for people to understand, especially when they have very traditional family roots, very traditional families.
Yeah, if she has like a finance background, sure, it's going to be easy for her to understand. But, my wife doesn't have a finance background. Like, she has real estate investment background. I would try to speak to her in terms of real estate investment. She just couldn't wrap her mind around. In her mind, it was all magic internet money, and she just didn't understand it. And definitely didn't have a respect for it.
So Charmouth was in 2020, so 2010 to 2013. He was in crypto. I'm guessing pretty much just Bitcoin.
The first to BTV, I don't know. Maybe he meant to put BTC.
Yeah, probably BTC. Yeah.
Yeah, Chamath is all right. He voted for Biden, so gosh. Serious questions about intelligence when you're a billionaire and you vote.
We can't get too political here. I get like I've got a few random political people in my
You can vote Democrat without voting for Biden. Biden.
Yeah.
Like
That's
if
true.
you followed Biden's trajectory over the past 40 years, I mean, he got kicked out of his first presidential race for fraud. Like he had said a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't true and stuff. So it's like, come on, Like, you're a billionaire, you know that stuff about him. Like, if you
He's
voted for
definitely
him, it's a low intelligence move.
Some wives have to convince their husbands.
Yeah,
That's the
That
opposite
was
problem.
the queen.
Yeah.
That's what I was laughing about just barely.
that's so
But-
funny.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Boudreaux says, I love
know,
magic internet money.
It's funny. There's highly intelligent people. Like, I mean, I'll put myself in that same camp. Rain was talking to me about Bitcoin and crypto for years, like 3 or 4 years. And I had even done presentations for my job on Bitcoin, right? But it was very superficial. And it was like, is it entering the financial system or the financial banking systems type thing, right? And so, like, I hadn't done a deep dive. And like Rain was like, oh, like, check this out. And I was like, yeah. Right. And man, like, I kick myself every day because of that. But I literally just on Saturday, I was with a group of guys that know that I'm into crypto. So one of them was talking to me and things. And this other guy comes along and kind of joined in the conversation. And I was talking about how, I mean, I really think that Bitcoin, crypto in general, is going to go massively up. And his first comment is, he's like, yeah, but, you could lose everything too, right? And I was like, sure. I was like, do you have a 401k? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, so do you invest in the stock market? He's like, yeah. I'm like, have you heard of a company called Enron? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so what happened to Enron's stock? Did that go to zero too? I'm like, look, anything that you put your money into can go to zero. Even the stock market is volatile right now. It doesn't have as big as swings, but it still has swings. And so I'm like, I just think it's funny because I'm like, the volatility is what I'm in there for. It is more risky. It can go down, but like it can also go massively up. So I'm like, so I have my 401k, I have my stock portfolio. That's fine. And that's going to do the traditional stuff. And I'm going to get my 8 to 12% annualized gains, that like over time, sure, that'll be great. But like what I'm really interested in is potential financial independence in the next few years. Right. And, but it's so funny to me that they look at that and they don't get it and they don't want to get it. And that's where I was. It took Rain coming to me and saying, so yeah, like I'm a multi-millionaire now because of crypto. And I was like, what? I'm like, all right, literally. And as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, we need to talk. We need to talk. I need to understand. Like that's what it took. And it makes me angry that it took missing that whole cycle basically before I dived in. So look, you guys are here at the right time. And like Rain said, I love that meme that's just like, it's not the bull market. You really are a genius, that guy's pointing to himself in the mirror. And everyone feels like that. Look, the last 2 months, everyone was feeling like that. Like every call someone was making, they were like, oh, I'm up like another 15% today, or it's gone up 70%, or it's 2x over the last year. And everyone's like a genius. No, it's the timing of it. That's the whole point, is you got to get in the bear market when everything is down and everyone's like, oh, crypto's dead. And you're getting into it now, right? And then we're going to reap the rewards, guys. And I do think that VeVe and Omi, with the AR, VR, this stuff coming up the next year with the Apple Vision Pro, like my theory is that is going to pump AR and VR. And it's going to take some time, but they're going to advertise it more. And as it becomes more and more familiar. And at some point, whether it's early on, like in January or sometime during the next year, I think that people are going to be looking at the crypto projects that have AR, VR, and Omi's going to be one of them, and it's going to be a big deal.
That is so funny from Pink Panther in so many ways. Rain, your Native American girlfriend, Elizabeth Warren, is acting up again. Thoughts on this KYC crypto bill? Well, thankfully, my Native American girlfriend, Elizabeth Warren, has a success rate, the kind of success rate we love to see in Congress. So she's proposed like 358 bills in her career, and 0 have ever gotten passed.
No, I think one.
Well, shoot, she broke that record. That's amazing. I mean, that is the kind of track record I wish we saw from more people in Congress, because like the truth is nobody is safe when Congress is in session. Because like, look, the best thing they could do is do nothing for a while, for like 10 years, other than they could just provide some clarity and guidance for crypto and then do nothing for 10 years and just let things be the same, and probably it would go better. But her chances of that passing are so low. Should it pass, that would be disastrous for the U.S., crypto is still going to happen. All that would do is make it so nobody wants to play in the U.S. sandbox. All the money would flow everywhere else. Elizabeth Warren would get booted out of her seat. She would be removed from power as all these companies watch all the money flow out of the U.S. to everywhere else in the world. And Democrats would lose power for 20 years. So if you're a Democrat, call your people and let them know not to vote with Elizabeth Warren. I did want to say Big A said, I voted Biden, but it wasn't a vote. It was a vote against Trump. Yeah. He said vegetable equals better than Trump. And I don't agree with that at all, but I can respect it. So, yes, most people who voted for Biden didn't really vote for Biden. The few that did vote for Biden, I really question them. It's people that vote against Trump, okay, I might disagree with that, but I can respect it. People who voted for Biden, I was like, gosh, what do you do?
I'm not getting into politics, but like I'm with Rain on that. Basically, like in the NFT Hero talking about voting policies, not people, because that person is just a figurehead. And all I'll say is, anytime the mainstream media is attacking whatever president, if it's a Democrat or Republican, I am all for that individual, because there's a reason, like the mainstream media, right? They got these corporations behind them and they don't want whatever this individual is doing. And so they're finding ways to attack him. And so I don't care who the president is or what political party they are for. If the mainstream media is attacking him, they're doing something right in general, in my opinion.
The reason why I like Trump is different from I've heard anyone else ever say. And so if you're actually going in to drain the swamp, here's what I knew. A bunch of those swamp creatures have R's by their names too, not just D's. And the fact that he took so many arrows from all the corrupt Republicans there too, told me this is the best effing guy in a century, because all the right people are shooting arrows into his back, like all the corrupt ones. And so he's actually pissing off the hornet's nest that needs to get removed. Like he's pissing off all the right people. If he's legitimately doing what he promised to do, all the right people hate him. And I was like, I like this guy. I really like this guy. Holy cow. I thought he would go in and do nothing. I thought it was just a ploy to get a bunch of votes, that he wouldn't actually go in there and drain the swamp at all. And I was wrong. When I saw him taking all the arrows in the back from all the corrupt Republicans too, of course, all the Democrats hated him. The key to me showing that he was good was 60% of the Republican Party was shooting arrows in his back. And I was like, I like this guy. That's what happened to Abraham Lincoln too. If you're doing the right things, the press is absolutely going to hate you. And at least half your own party is going to hate you too, because they're just in there for their own interests. They just say the right things, but they have no interest in cleaning things up. Someone who is going to clean things up, he's going to lose support from all the congressmen and senators that are in, not all of them, but most of them in his own party, and the whole other party is going to hate him. So I knew he was good by the number of politicians that hate him.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, well, so back on topic of Elizabeth Warren's bill. I agree with Rain, though. It is basically, if that got passed, I mean, it would destroy crypto in the U.S. I mean, it is a nasty, nasty crypto bill. And it's all in the name of anti-money laundering, anti-terrorism stuff, which is so ironic because it's I mean, there have been so many fines issued. I mean, I can't remember what bank it was, but it was this bank basically money laundered hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars for the Sinaloa cartel. And they got slapped on the wrist. Binance actually paid a heftier,
much bigger
fine by magnitudes, 50 times higher than, because it's crypto. It's this whole narrative.
Yeah, they got ripped.
She's backed by the banks. Warren's backed by the banks. So absolutely call your senators, call your congressmen and be like, do not vote for this bill. And I was looking, and the information's all over the place, but it looks like she has been a primary sponsor of around 11 bills out of 330. So 11 bills have passed out of 330. Terrible record. And maybe this is just posturing, but we know crypto's not going away, but it could go away in the US. And that's scary.
Yeah,
right? It's not going away. We could just be hosted, cut off from these potential gains. So I am absolutely calling my congressman and senator and being like, you better not even think about putting your name on that piece of paper or I not just me, like I have a loud voice and I will get a lot of people, and you will not be here next term. Like that's it, you know.
I like it. I just want to change gears. And do you guys see the Josh Emmett knockout?
Oh my
That was an
gosh.
amazing knockout. In fact, I watched some of his history, and he does that punch where he ducks and punches. I saw another knockout that same way, but the one he did the other night was like the dude was like shaking on the ground after. It was violence. It was
Yeah,
one
I was
hell of
worried.
a
I
knockout.
was worried he was hurt, but he did a thank you video today on his Twitter, just saying thank you, Josh Emmett, for not basically punching him and following up. He just knocked him out and left him. He didn't keep going. If you watch,
Yeah.
sometimes they just jump straight on them and keep punching, even
Yeah.
if they're knocked out. So he didn't do that. So he basically thanked Josh for not giving him permanent brain damage. And
Well,
also
it's
says
fun to
Gary.
have a fellow VeVe community member, right? And this isn't his first fight. He's got some other UFC fights. Yeah, he absolutely, that knockout was stunning. If you haven't seen that clip, it's worth watching. It's crazy knockout.
I
And
watched it so
apparently
many
he's
times,
represented by
so many
Vandersport,
times.
by Gary V. Gary V potentially is helping sponsor. That's interesting that and he's into VeVe, right?
Yeah,
we
he's a
need to
gold
get
and
him.
silver logo holder. He's in the
Yeah.
gold and silver logo chat, and like he like sent some messages there, and so like in that chat we were all pumping him up and stuff, and it's been great. It's been great to see, and his followers spiked massively on Twitter after that win, which I mean, well deserved. Oh my gosh, that was so nasty, and I have to respect that, right? Because he could have, like you said, that video thinking he could have done that hammer fist, which they do a lot. They'll knock him out or knock him down, you know, where they're not getting back up, and they'll just pound on him, you know.
And the reason they do that is because if they don't knock them out properly, they can get back up and beat them up. So
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be the one getting beat up, so I'm just going to go ham on them.
They got to
Yeah,
end
do
the
that.
fight until it's ended, right? Yeah.
Yeah, normally they wait till the ref jumps in between them, and if the ref hasn't done it, often they're on the other person. So it was nice of him to know. But I guess he also felt he's like, yeah, that guy's not getting up. It's just boom.
Yeah, that was wicked, man.
That is crazy punch.
Woo! Actually,
Valentine's a rock star.
Valentine coming in from Argentina.
He had some good comments for you as well, Jay. Getting your tan on before the EcomiVerse and then looking sharp.
Thank you, Valentine.
Awesome. Well, we got some great comments today. I'm really happy. I think we've had zero FUD today. This is going well.
Well, you got Wes. You know, Wes is always saying a little something.
Wes is definitely
in his own bags. He's got massive bags, and he's
Wes is all over the place though. With his he's super bullish and he's super bearish, and I can't work it out. Should be sponsor this guy. Yeah, we should totally sponsor Emmett instead of Gary V. That would be cool. Imagine he's wearing like VeVe shorts or something in his next fight.
They don't even have to pay him, right? Because they're getting it for free because he's working in the community and they're not paying him a cent.
Oh, he did wear the VeVe shirt, right? In a photo shoot.
Hoodie, and took a picture with it. And he's like, I got to shout out the VeVe fam, you know?
That's awesome.
So cool.
That is super cool.
Wes is probably a Gemini like me. I'm also a Gemini.
Multi-personalities. That's what I hear.
Yeah. they fight within each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of me is the analytical side, and part of me is like the fun party guy. And during crypto, the like nerdy analytical side has mostly taken over. My wife's like, "Where's the fun party guy?" I'm like, he's in a corner. It's crypto time, baby.
Yeah, it's crypto time. I understand that. I get that. That's cool. Well, would you guys want to wrap it up? We're running at about an hour and a half now. Can you give us your final thoughts on the market and what do you think people should be doing? Obviously, not financial advice.
Yeah, I'll give some thoughts. If you're here to become a savage crypto investor, you're thinking about it right, and you're thinking of becoming like a Navy SEAL in crypto. Because if you become good at this one thing over the next 6 years, like you're going to outperform anything else you could be doing while you still keep your day job. Do not let go of your day job. You need that income. In fact, get a second job. You only have to put in like an hour or two passively listening to crypto per day. to really grow your information level and understand what's going on. So it's the best thing you could do, very part-time, while increasing the money you're making in your full-time job as much as you can, so that you can put some extra money and stack it while you're learning to become good in the space. Because while you're learning to be good, you can still, if you're following some good principles, make amazing returns over the long term. And long term normally means 30 years. In crypto, the cycles are only 4 years. In fact, a little under 4 years from top to top. So that's incredible. Now, a few people are saying, oh my gosh, we're going to have a bull run like never before. And that might be true. We might have what's called a super cycle. But if that's true, it almost guarantees that there will then be another cycle. Even though people say we're going to have a super cycle and that will be the last big crypto cycle ever. Well, think of a pendulum swinging. And if we do have a super cycle, that pendulum will swing too far to the upside. What happens when something swings too far to the upside? Massive collapse, and it swings too far to the downside. So yes, we might have a super cycle this time. And if we do, that will almost guarantee that we will have a cycle after this.
Awesome. Dr. Stuff, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, we've started to see the floors on some of the grails creep up in VeVe, right? And as the crypto market comes up, people are going to take some of their funds. And this is what makes me so bullish on OMI and VeVe, is that people, even with all of the FUD, they're taking some of their profits and they're rolling it in to these grails, which means like it's there, right? Like this isn't going away. People have gotten it, they understand it, and they're continuing. They believe in that. And I believe that digital collectibles is the way to go. As I've started getting into physical collecting, I'm just like, man, where do you put all this stuff, right? And the interactions that we're going to be able to do, and how you can tie it to gaming and metaverses. Oh man, it's so. Oh, dude, you just threw me off my job. Go Mets! Stop it right now.
Sorry.
There you show that when I'm doing my final thoughts. Panther, we're gonna have a talk. But anyways, look, just again, all I can say, and this is all I'm doing, is I'm doing my analysis, and I'm gonna trust my gut. I have a lot of experience in financial analysis and looking at stock markets and stock market investing. And I'm applying that into the crypto space. And now I've had a pretty substantial amount of time researching crypto markets and understanding that, and then talking with successful people in the space. Rain, like surround yourself with the people who've been successful, not the people who have the biggest channels. Because the reason they have the biggest channels is they're great marketing, but are they good at investing, right? Or are they making their money because they're getting tokens from all of the projects that they're shilling, and not because they actually purchased low and then sold high, right? So I look at OMI and I look at VeVe, and I continue to be bullish. And the team's going to make mistakes, and I hope that they continue to fix them. And as I demonstrated when I thought that they had intentionally taken away that signature, right, on the Bart and Homer Simpson NFT, I will be real with you if there ever is an issue where I say, hey, look, I am concerned now, right? I will express that. Some people call me a moon boy. I think that I do try to find the narratives and try to understand what is happening. I did a knee-jerk reaction on that instead of waiting for the team. But overall, I'm so bullish on that, and just continue to find those projects and diversify, guys. Diversify. That's all I got to say.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. My final thoughts are just going to be following up basically everything Rain said and Dr. Stuff. We just want to make sure we do our research. We're patient, we're considerate of what's going to happen long term. We follow some of the narratives we like, and it's not really get rich quick. And people think cryptos get rich quick, and it's not. It's get rich with a lot of care, and it's over a few years. It's not instant. You can make some pretty big gains quickly from crazy meme coins, but you can also lose your money quickly as well. So I just want to drive that point home. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the guys you see here. Thanks so much, Crypto Rain and Dr. Stuff, for taking your time and coming on again. We're not going to have a show next week, guys. It's Christmas Day next week. Not going to have a show. We're going to have a show the week after, I think, New Year's Day. Randy's doing a stream with me. I'm not sure if it's going to be on my channel or if we'll do it on here. I don't think these guys are probably going to be making New Year's Day, but we'll see how we go. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for in 2 weeks. See you guys. Bye.